We want to chase worldly success. We want to chase what the world tells us you need to do to become successful. But we miss the part that we're not supposed to strive and try and control every outcome. Our job is to serve our neighbors, our brothers and sisters, proclaiming the gospel to the poor, to the needy, give them hope, volunteering, donating, helping the widows, the fatherless in your communities. It doesn't have to be anything that is out of this world, or you can even help them online, whichever way that you can contribute. That is what we're being asked to do. We're not being asked to strive, but what you find is that the world sets expectations on us. Because when you really think about it, let's say if you live in the city, let's say you live in the urban areas of whatever country that you live in, you obviously have your bills, your electricity, you have your water bills. You maybe have to, let's say, communication is important. You've got your internet, which is still important in this day and age. And you have, let's say, your taxes, your rent taxes, whatever taxes that you're paying in the city, right? And then you have other hidden costs. I would imagine, like if you're traveling, transport, all of those things, right? And now you're surrounded with people that are also striving and are trying to accomplish XYZ goal. And that in itself, being in that environment, it puts a lot of pressure. Puts a lot of pressure on someone, right? On people. And when people go and start striving for more and more and trying to accumulate more, and they putting themselves in situations that they start carrying these burdens, right? Because already as I'm listing them, these become burdens that we are voluntarily taking on for ourselves. So my challenge again to you is, if you have all of these burdens, how can you simplify your life so that you don't carry the burdens, right? How can you simplify your life? Because if you're, let's say, well off, for example, you have money, you can still hire someone else. Maybe hire someone who's young, fatherless, someone who's fatherless. You can have like a staff with people that you support. Let's say, for example, you can hire a widow to do your administration, give them work to do, keep them busy, and you can contribute in that way, for example, and you don't have to think about those things. And you're also living according to your faith and your values. You're in alignment, because the goal is to still stay aligned with your values, with what you believe in, and not try to strive for everything. And when you compare that life, let's say, because now I've given you the answer to like how to overcome those burdens in that way, right? But it comes again, going back to scripture to see what scripture is also asking us to do and help. And another thing is, if you're comparing that life, like urban life, to someone who's living in the country, they probably don't have as many things to think about. They still have like they have like their water bill, they have electricity bill. But if you're also in a country, a place where you just have like your land, You can install solar, right? To have your solar, you can have a borehole, and you don't have to continue paying your rates to cover the cost for your usage for your electricity and and your water, depending on where you live. I don't know what the legislation says, but I'm just giving you examples here. And you can farm your own food, right? Compared to someone who's in an urban area, they can't farm their own food. So when you look at that, you realize that some of the burdens that we carry for ourselves, we end up carrying these burdens because we put themselves on ourselves. Whereas these two people are still living, they're still living and existing in the same country or wherever they are, right? But the kinds of burdens that they're carrying, the kinds of things that someone in the city is worrying about versus someone in the country is worrying about, those are different, right? So this is just for us to reflect, to see why I'm bringing this up. It's just for us to think about, why do we carry some of these burdens? Are these burdens necessary for us to carry? What does scripture say about the burdens that you carry? How can you live more in alignment with what scripture tells us to do? How can we do that? Because sometimes we just exhaust ourselves chasing things that don't actually fill us, things that don't actually serve us. It's like, ask yourself, like, where did you get that standard? Where did you get that expectation from? The burden that you're holding on, whatever you're striving for. Where did you get that from? Does it come from scripture? Is it aligned with scripture? Because at the end of the day, God will still bless you. And the scripture is not saying leave everything and don't leave everything and don't care about the world, right? Like the world that you live in, right? Your needs, your physical needs, you still need to take care of that, right? We're just saying that we've taken care of our needs, right? But what else are we striving for beyond that we're putting on ourselves? What else is that? Right? So that's what we want to think about. So think about, what can I do to simplify my life and remain aligned with scripture, with Christ. And once you figure that out, you can really realize what needs to go, what you need to let go to give yourself freedom. Because sometimes we chase goals, we set like 5-10 year goals, and we're on a path to try and hit those goals. And it's not that because also you're getting growth, right? Don't get me wrong. You're still growing. You're still growing as you pursue certain goals. But also realize, for you to get to those goals, maybe you don't need to strive for like 5-10 years. Because if you just surrender, maybe you can actually achieve that goal in 1 year. That is my challenge to you, right? Because that is what is being said in scripture. Because God is the one who blesses. God is the one who gives. God is the one who takes. So when you try and strive and control everything, and then you're like, okay, like you're setting 5-10 year goal. And if those 5-10 year goals are not in alignment with Christ, it's going to be a burden. So whatever you're setting as your goals in your life, are they aligned with Christ? Are they in alignment? That is the question. That is the main question. Are your goals in alignment with Christ? Are your goals in alignment with Christ? That is the main question. So think about that. If they're not in alignment, it's time to rethink about those goals. Rethink about them, because you can't go on striving for like 5, 10 years, because that stress starts to build up. And then you have chronic stress and it just goes downhill. Your health suffers, your spirit suffers, your soul suffers, your mind suffers. Your energy is going to dip. You're going to be stuck. You're going to be tired all the time. So think about that. Like, okay, are my goals aligned with Christ?